want to thank each and every one of you who has gathered here today to create this experience of our spiritual family, brought together because we sincerely want to know God, the one who made us, and love him more and more, both our divine parents. Well, eternal life is a stupendous and wondrous concept. And I would like to spend some time with you now in a meditation on time and eternity. Starting with, what does the word eternity mean to you? And what feelings are evoked in you when you think of eternal life? Just take a moment, see what comes up. The minds probably quickly interpret eternal life as a never-ending existence. But obviously, a kind of existence that is categorically different from the only kind of existence we can really know now, which is our life in this transient mortal body. And what is the one thing that we know for sure about life in a material body? In a physical time-space universe, we know that it is fleeting, that all living things have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They come into being, live for a while, age, and die. I think of the mayflies that have the shortest life of any recorded animal species. They live for one day. The males live less than 1 hour when they reach adulthood, and the females have just 5 minutes to breed before they die. And think of the daylily and the morning glory, which produce beautiful flowers that last for only a single day. Well, human beings may live longer than a mayfly, thank God. But in our physical form, we are not immortal. The lifespan of our human bodies has built-in limitations. We undergo an unstoppable process of change and aging, and then we die. The transient beauty of nature and the evanescence of life provoke profound feelings of sorrow, grief, poignancy in us, and inspire some of the world's most glorious literature. However, the impermanence of human existence also prompts people to delve deeply into the meaning and purpose of life and the mystery of death. We look out at the world and we see the seemingly endless cycles of nature and the interminable orbits of the sun and the moon, the planets and the distant stars, and a seemingly infinite universe. And against that backdrop of perpetual cycles, the brief span of our lives is an acute relief. It makes us question the meaning of life and death. And for some, that very thought that our lives might be meaningless evokes feelings of dread, resignation, or despair. But even more powerfully, our questioning can lead us to the truth of the transcendent and real meaning and purpose of our lives when we allow ourselves to follow the inner prompts, right, Kay? That arise in consciousness from the activity of the spirit, which dwells mysteriously yet energetically within us. Our questioning leads us to seek the ultimate purpose and meaning destiny of human life beyond the boundary of physical death. I think it's true to say that almost all people yearn for their lives to have eternal meaning and purpose. And they yearn to be connected to something greater, bigger than their individual little island universes of self, with our own little private thoughts and feelings and memories. But the good news is that there are sublime answers to these great questions of life and death, because humanity has received numerous revelations from divine sources about life beyond the death of the material body, and about the survival of the personality and the soul, which we get to co-create with the indwelling spirit during our brief mortal lifetimes. And without a doubt, I think the most complete, divinely replete, and spiritually detailed revelation of the origin, meaning, purpose, and destiny of human life was given to humanity in the 20th century in the form of the Urantia book. There has never been a book like it in the history of our world, with such a range and treasury of knowledge about deity, divinity, cosmic reality, and how the endless circle of eternity inhabited by God is synchronized with the transient material circles of time. How our tiny little human lives fit into the plans of the Paradise Trinity. And one of the most mind-boggling revelations in the Urantia book is that a fragment of this pure, divine, infinite, and eternal reality of the universe, Father, the first great source and center of the universe of universes, is actually a part of us and has been bestowed on us by God, that we might become like him in eternity. We have the capacity to realize this truth right now. It really is a matter of heeding the call of this spirit within us, of discovering and recognizing and trusting our indwelling spirit, and accepting the spiritual truth of these numerous revelations of the soul, eternal life, and the marvelous plan of our Creator that he's designed for us now into eternity. And you know, this truth liberates us from the suffering of impermanence and meaninglessness, doesn't it? It gives us a way to live in this world with this vast, infinite perspective. The basic requirement to open this door to eternal life is faith. We must be curious. We must want to know God, to know what's out there and what God has in store for us, and to comprehend how it all works through divine love and loss. This is the will of God, and we must decide for ourselves to live in a way that aligns with God's beautiful plan for his grand universe and his grandchildren. That's us. We must trust in God's promise of eternal life to those who desire it. That's an immovable axiom. And so is the intention to evolve and become like our divine parents, because God has made us for this purpose. And not only to know him and love him and serve him, but to know all of our spiritual brothers and sisters to support each other on the way to paradise. But there's something, like Marvin said, that we need to know about this process of spiritual metamorphosis, of becoming like the one who made us. And that is, it's a very, very long and very rich experiential journey to the center of infinity, where God inhabits the circle of eternity. And it's going to take an unimaginably long time to undergo the slow, progressive evolution from a creature of animal origin to a spirit approaching God-like levels of divinity and perfection. We will need eternal life to evolve into beings who embody godlike beauty, truth, goodness, mercy, and love. And that comes about as a result of the endless interactions with countless other personal beings in the universal family of God as we ascend through the progressive levels of universe civilization. And we will need eternity to experience the myriad situations in the great circle of eternity that will stimulate, our personal, mindal, and spiritual potentials toward godlikeness. We need to become very creative problem solvers. It's impossible for our time-bound, infinite, or I should say finite minds to grasp the essence and experience of eternity, but we can glimpse it through contact with the indwelling spirit, and particularly during periods of deep worship, contemplation of God. And we can also have faith in the plan of the Paradise Trinity, because something within us knows it is true. And in this way, we can steadily evolve a perspective on living this one brief, as Mary Oliver would say, wild and wonderful life, unrepeatable mortal life, in the shimmering awareness of eternal life. And so I'd like to end this meditation on time and eternity with one of those gorgeous passages that really spiritually thrills me, from paper 32. And it's written, Marvin, right, by a mighty messenger who was once like us, a mortal being, billions of years ago. He says, there is a great and glorious purpose in the march of the universes through time, through space. All of your mortal struggling is not in vain. We are all part of an immense plan, a gigantic enterprise. And it is the vastness of the undertaking that renders it impossible to see very much of it at any time in any one life. We are all part of an eternal project which the gods are supervising and outworking. And the whole marvelous and universal mechanism moves on majestically through space to the music of the meter of the infinite thought and the eternal purpose of the first great source and center. So let's just live in great faith and great love and great hope. Thank you.